Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how I made the throne from Fire Emblem Three Houses. The throne in Fire Emblem Three Houses is where the brain gremlin Sothis resides. For the most part, she doesn't really do anything in the game, aside from berate you whenever you pick the wrong dialogue option. You can access the throne in-game by scanning an amiibo in real life, which isn't expensive at all. Despite all of this, I still wanted to make the throne, as I do think it has a really cool design. I start off this project with a craft coaster that I picked up from a local art store. I'll be making the throne to 32mm base scale, so any miniature that uses that base or a smaller one can sit on it. I start by marking out the tiles and how large I want them to be, and then I go back over those lines with my knife. Once painted and dry brushed, these will look like actual tiles. I water down some modelling paste and then proceed to spread that all over the base. I then stipple it to give it a stone-like texture. Using a miniature as a size reference, I begin the process of sculpting the throne. I start with the platform that the miniatures will be able to sit on, then proceed to make the very chunky armrests. When compared with Sothis in-game, the proportions of the throne are completely whack, so therefore my model is going to be completely whack as well. Well, that's the excuse I'm using. Next was the base of the chair, which was then trimmed to size after a quick fit check. The armrests get some little feet, and then everything is temporarily secured in place with a little bit of bacon bond. The stairs leading up to the throne are next, and they are trimmed to size. Using a thicker piece of clay, I use that to make the base of the throne and give the stairs something to hold on to. Both the base and the stairs are then glued into place with more bacon bond. Time for the back of the throne. I start by rolling out a long snake of clay, and then trim it to size using the base and a miniature for size reference. I make the glowing orb that sits at the top of the throne and bacon bond that in place too. I roll out a smaller snake of clay for detail around the orb, and then a very large one for the detail around the back of the throne. I then flatten it out and bacon bond that in place too. Using a sculpting tool, I then scribe in the various details that are seen on the throne. I should probably mention that I had to do all of these things twice, as the back of the throne has two sides. The obvious exception being the orb at the very top. With some final little details, the sculpting is done. After baking in the oven, I realised that I'd made a small mistake. Due to some of the details on the back of the throne, it can't sit flush with the base. So the only way I could think of to fix it was to trim it back. This was easy enough to do, and no mistakes were made at all. After learning from my mistakes, I finished up with the trimming, and now it fits perfectly. After supergluing it together, I realised that with the back of the throne attached, one of the armrests was too big, so I had to saw it off just to make it even. Using the same goop as before, I applied that to the throne and then stippled it to make it look like stone. Time for painting. The base of the miniature gets a very dark green base coat, then gets two lighter green dry brushes. The throne itself gets a lighter green, as I had decided to draw inspiration from the title screen as opposed to the in-game footage. I wanted the throne itself to stand out, and was worried that it wouldn't be able to do so in a darker colour. The throne then got a watered down black wash, and then a heavy-handed light green dry brush to bring back all the details. The orb on top of the throne was then coloured blue, and then received a lighter blue in the middle to imply that it was glowing. I then did my best to freehand the crest of flames, which is the symbol that appears on the orb. Once I glued the throne down to the base, it was finished. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the new year. Until then, have a good one.